It's okay, Prabhuji, you can do also.
No, if you're, yeah, that's okay. Okay, I can read, Prabhuji.
Yeah, sure. Thank you, Prabhuji.
Thank you. Hare Krishna devotees, Dandat Pranam, all praise to Srila Prabhupada. The birth of Lord Krishna. As described in this chapter, the Supreme Personality of Godhead Krishna, Hari, in his original form, appeared as Vishnu. Sorry, Prabhuji, is there any? Okay, Vishnu. So that his father and mother could understand their son was the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Because they were afraid of Kamsa, when the Lord appeared as an ordinary child, they took him to Goloka, the home of Nanda Maharaj. Mother Devaki, being fully transcendental, Satchidananda, does not belong to this material world. Thus, the Supreme Personality of Godhead appeared with 4 hands as if born from the womb. Upon seeing the Lord in the Vishnu form, Vasudeva was struck with wonder, and in transcendental happiness, he and Devaki mentally gave 10,000 cows in charity to the Brahmanas. Vasudeva then Vasudeva then offered prayers to the Lord, addressing him as the Supreme Person, Parabrahman, the Super Soul, who is beyond duality and who is internally the externally all pervading. The Lord, the cause of all causes, it is beyond material existence. Although he is the creator of this material world, when he enters the world as Paramatma, he is all pervading. Andantarastha Paramanu Chayantarastham. Yet he is the transcendentally situated for all creation's maintenance and annihilation of this material world. The Lord appears as Guna Avtaras, Brahma, Vishnu, and Maheshwara. Thus, Vasudeva offered prayers full of meaning of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Devaki followed her husband by offering prayers describing the transcendental nature of the Lord, fearing Kamsa and desiring that the Lord not be understood by atheistic and materialistic non-devotees. She prayed that the Lord withdraw his transcendental 4-armed form and appear like an ordinary child with 2 hands. So Hare Krishna Prabhuji, shall I summarize here? So as we can see, the Lord is, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Lord Krishna. He is appearing himself, and we can see that how, they were even though Nanda Maharaj and Devaki Mataji, were afraid. So for that, they requested him to be, go back to. But we can see that Mother Devaki, of course, she was Satchidananda. She was fully transcendental, and as we know from Shubhalas Prabhuji, first Krishna appeared in the heart of Nanda Maharaj, and then from there, into the heart of Devaki. So mundane people doesn't understand that. So Vasudeva offered in his mind itself hundreds and thousands of cows as an offering, even though because they were in the like jail, they. So Krishna sees our heart, our endeavor. So that doesn't mean that if we have and we can think that, oh, okay, I'll just offer from my from my mind. So whatever position you are, you have to do. So here even Srila Prabhupada is quoting this verse from Brahma Samhita. Ekyopasaura chetam jagadanda kotim yat chaktirasti jagadanda chayayadanta andantarastha paramanu chayantarastham govindaramat purisham. So Krishna is everywhere in all the universe, in every atom, in every small insect also, he is situated as Paramatma. So in that way, we can see that Krishna is pervading everywhere. So that's my understanding, Prabhuji. Please add Hare Krishna. Dhanavad.
So thank you, Prabhuji. Prabhuji, there's another small para. You can also finish it. Then we can start text from there.
Okay, sure, Prabhuji. The Lord reminded Vasudeva and Devaki of two other incarnations in which he has appeared as their son. He had appeared as Prachini Bara and Prasini Garbha and Vamana Deva. And now this was the third time he was appearing as the son of Devaki to fulfill their desires. The Lord then decided to leave the residence of Vasudeva and Devaki in the prison house of Kamsa. And at this time, Yogamaya took birth as daughter of Yashoda. By the arrangement of Yogamaya, Vasudeva was able to leave the prison house and save the child from the hands of Kamsa. When Vasudeva brought Krishna to the house of Nanda Maharaj, he saw that by Yogamaya's arrangement, Yashoda as well as everyone else was deeply asleep. Thus he exchanged the babies, taking Yogamaya from Yashoda's lap and placing Krishna there instead. When Vasudeva returned to his own palace, having taken Yogamaya as his daughter, he placed Yogamaya in Devaki's bed and prepared to be a prisoner as before. In Goloka, Yashoda could not understand whether she gave birth to a male or a female. So Hare Krishna Prabhuji. So what I understood here is, Vasudeva and Devaki, of course, they gave birth to Supreme Personality of Godhead 3 times, and this is the 3rd time. He appeared as Prasini Garbha and Vamana Deva in their previous, incarnations. Even Vasudeva and Devaki took, multiple incarnations, and they requested the Lord that 3 times they want to be, give birth to Supreme Personality of Godhead. So here we can see, as we know, that Yogamaya, who is Adi Shakti, Durga Devi, is none other than the sister of Krishna, because she was born to actually Yashoda Mata. And by this transcendental arrangement, Nanda Maharaj was able to exchange the babies. And we can see that Vasudeva returned, and everyone were kind of sleeping. And in Goloka, Yashoda Mata did not know. And also I heard, Prabhuji, is that, there were 2 Krishnas. Actually, I don't know, Prabhuji, this is, I heard from one of the Prabhuji. Actually, Yashoda Mata gave, for 2 babies, one was male and one was female. And that I heard that is Vrindavan Krishna. So please add, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Yes, I also heard the same thing from Bhakti Charu Swami Maharaj. So, any devotees want to comment on this? Prem Sankirtan Prabhu, do you want to make any comments?
Hare Krishna Prabhu, actually, what you said and Prabhu said is right. Just want to add one thing, that Krishna came as a Prishni Garbha, and Prishni and Shutopa, they actually did a austerity for 12,000 years, and Lord came to their house as Prishni Garbha, and as Prabhu was saying that Vaman Dev, and then he came as Vasudev Krishna. Hare Krishna Prabhu back.
Prabhuji, can you give some insight into this Prasini Garbha, Prabhuji? I think I heard maybe earlier, but forgot.
Prishni Garbha is one of the Krishna's incarnation. In first canto, Prabhupada has explained that. I don't know that much about that, but I just want to relate that to Mahaprabhu's pastime. When Mahaprabhu took sannyas, and it's written in Chaitanya Bhāgavatam, not in Chaitanya Caritāmṛta, and Mother Sachi was very much, she was feeling of deep separation and she was crying. So at that time Mahaprabhu told her that 3 times I was in your son. And he mentioned that Krishnagarbha, and then he mentioned Baman, and then he mentioned also Lord Krishna. And he said, so you should not be so much, she was really sad. So that only I can say here. But I don't know that much about the Krishnagarbha. Maybe we can ask Shubha-Vilas Prabhu when he's available.
Thank you, Prabhuji.
Thank you, Prabhuji. So we can now move to the verses. So text 1 to 5. Who is can start? Text 1 to 5. Prabhuji, sorry, Prabhuji, do you want to start and then we can go after that?
Prabhu, okay. I need this screen because.
Prabhuji, I think
I
you
can
are
share
sharing the
this.
wrong one, Prabhuji.
Yes. Yeah, I'm doing that.
Oh yeah, now we can.
Yeah. So I'm.
So you want to click on the text 1 to 5?
Yes. Yes, Prabhuji. You can see, Prabhuji?
Yes, Prabhuji.
Okay, Hare Krishna Prabhu, Hare Krishna devotees, Dandavat Pranam, Jai Srila Prabhupada. Sri Shuka Yubacha, Atha Sarva Gunapeta, Kala Parama, Sabhana, Jarhi Ibajana, Janmaksham, Santashka, Grahatarakam, Disha Prashedur Gaganam, Nirmaladu Ganadayam, Mohimangala Bhuista Pura Gruma Brajakara Nadiya Prasanna Shalila Radha Jalaruha Shriya Dijali Kula Shannada Stabaka Bana Rajaya Babhau Bayu Shukha Sparsha Punya Gandhabha Shuchi Agnayascha Dija Tinam Santastatra Somindhata Manam Shyasan Prasannani Sadhunam Osuradruham Jaya Mane Ajanitasmin Nedur Dundu Bhaya Samam. Our translation and purport by His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. Joy Srila Prabhupada. Translation. Thereafter, at the auspicious time for the appearance of the Lord, the entire universe was surcharged with all the qualities of goodness, beauty, and peace. The constellation Rohini appeared as huge stars like Ashini. The sun, the moon, the other stars and planets were very peaceful. All directions appeared extremely pleasing. extremely pleasing, and the beautiful stars twinkle in the cloudless sky. Decorated with towns, villages, mines, and pasturing grounds, the earth seemed all auspicious. The rivers flowed with clear water, and the lakes and vast reservoirs full of lilies and lotuses were extraordinarily beautiful. In the trees and green plants full of flowers and leaves, pleasing to the eyes, birds like cuckoos and swarms of bees began chanting with sweet voices for the sake of the demigods. A pure breeze began to blow, pleasing the sense of touch and bearing the aroma of flowers. And when the Brahmanas engaging in ritualistic ceremonies ignited their fires according to Vedic principles, the fires burned steadily, undisturbed by the breeze. Thus, when the birthless Lord Vishnu, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, was about to appear, the saints and Brahmanas, who had always been disturbed by demons like Kangsha and his men, felt peace within the core of their hearts, and kettle drums simultaneously vibrated from the upper planetary system. Purport: as stated in Bhagavad Gita, the Lord says that his appearance, birth, and activities are all transcendental, and that one who factually understands them is immediately eligible to be transferred to the spiritual world. The Lord's appearance or birth is not like that of an ordinary man who is forced to accept a material body according to his past deeds. The Lord's appearance is explained in the previous chapter. He appears out of his own sweet pleasure. When the time was mature for the appearance of the Lord, the constellations became very auspicious. The astrological influence of the constellation known as Rohini was also predominant because this constellation is considered very auspicious. Rohini is under the direct supervision of Brahma, who is born of Vishnu, and it appears at the birth of Lord Vishnu, who in fact is birthless. According to the astrological conclusion, besides the proper situation of the stars, there are auspicious and inauspicious moments due to the different situations of the different planetary systems. At the time of Krishna's birth, the planetary systems were automatically adjusted so that everything became auspicious. So it's a long purport, so I'm going to stop here, and one of the devotees kindly can read the next two paragraphs. So what I understood here is, we can see the translation. Prabhupada so nicely explain the different arrangements. And in the purport, Prabhupada is saying that Lord's appearance is transcendental. And we know that Krishna was telling in Bhagavad Gita, Janma Karma Chame Divyam. Divyam means Lord is not like us, that taking birth and getting a material body. He's Divyam. He doesn't have to take birth. Prabhupada was mentioning that in the previous chapter, and Sudhir Prabhu was mentioning in the initial part, that from Vasudev's mind, he went to Mother Devaki's mind, and from there he stayed in his womb. And Prabhupada also mentioned that Krishna can do anything. From this mind, he went to and he rested inside Devaki's womb. So it is not like our material, like male, female. It's not like a conjugal way. doesn't need like sperm or ovum. His Lord is, he can take birth anyway. Like we saw that even, I mean, when Lord Brahma took birth, didn't happen like a materialistic way, like a male-female conjugation. It happened, Lord Brahma came from Lord Garbhodakshaya Vishnu's navel. So we can get an idea that from here, that what is Dibba means. If he wants, he can take birth. Nrsimhadev came from the pillar. He didn't have to come like that. Varahadev came from the nose of Lord Brahma. He came as a very small particle. Brahma suddenly saw that there is something came from his nose, and then it became took so big. So we see that over and over, that Lord birth is, that's called Dibbam. Means it doesn't have to be depend on male and female. It can happen from anywhere. That's, it's called Dibbam. So, and Prabhupada is saying, the next line is important. We read that Shuvilas Prabhu, he emphasized that other day, that Lord's appearance is not because of, for any reason, it's because of his, out of his own pleasure potency or own sweet pleasure. He wanted to fight. He wanted to enjoy his chivalrous. You know that he has 6 Aishudya. So one of them is he wanted to fight. And that's how, that is his sweet, his own sweet pleasure. So he wanted to fight. So he came as a Varahadev. He came as a Hiranyakashipu to fight with Hiranyaksha and Hiranyakashipu. Sorry, he came as Lord Nrsimhadev to fight with Hiranyakashipu, and Varahadev as Hiranyaksha, Lord Ram, and as a to fight with Ravan and Kumbhakarna. So it is his own sweet. Here is also to fight. That is his own sweet pleasure. And then definitely there are other things happen, like in addition, he wanted to enjoy the friendly relationship. He wanted to enjoy the Vatsalya Ras. He wanted to enjoy that how a boy enjoy sitting on the lap of his father or mother. He wanted to enjoy that. So it's all this because of his sweet pleasure. So here, in Prabhupada next paragraph, he was saying that there is a special auspicious time when Lord comes. He controls everything. So it's Rohini Nakshatra. That's time. I mean, we see that in Mahaprabhu's time. If you see that Mahaprabhu's time, at that time, Navadvip was not a place for devotion. People were very much like on Gyan. They were like doing a lot of argumentative things. Like they will argument. If you look at Chaitanya Bhagavat, it says that they were spending their money to give marriage between their dogs and cats. That's how, that kind of, like, you can see what was the degradation. But there was a Mahaprabhu's birth. During that time, there was a Grahan in Bengali. In English, I don't know what it says. I mean, Shujya Grahan or Chandra Grahan. And it's kind of like a ritual. Everybody says, Hari, Hari, Hari Bol. So at that time, Mahaprabhu came. So, I mean, these things happen because that's this Lord's will. So here Prabhupada is also saying that's the auspicious time. Hare Kṛṣṇa Prabhu, back to you. Please add your comment. And someone
Thank you. Thank you, Prabhuji. Any devotee wants to continue from there?
I can read Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Let me share.
You want me to share, Prabhuji, or it's okay?
Yeah, it's okay, Prabhuji. From at that time.
At that time, in all directions, east, west, south, north, everywhere, there was an atmosphere of peace and prosperity. Auspicious stars were visible in the sky, and on the surface in all towns and villages or pasturing grounds, and within the mind of everyone, there were signs of good fortune. The rivers were flowing full of water, and the lakes were beautifully decorated with lotus flowers. The forests were full with beautiful birds and peacocks. All the birds within the forests began to sing with sweet voices, and the peacocks began to dance with their consorts. The wind blew very pleasantly, carrying the aroma of different flowers, and the sensation of bodily touch was very pleasing. At home, the Brahmanas who were accustomed to offer sacrifices in the fire found their homes very pleasant for offerings. Because of disturbances created by the demoniac kings, the sacrificial fire had been almost stopped in the houses of Brahmanas. Now they could find the opportunity to start the fire peacefully. Being forbidden to offer sacrifices, the Brahmanas were very distressed in mind, intelligence, and activities. But just on the point of Krishna's appearance, automatically their minds became full of joy because they could hear loud vibrations in the sky of transcendental sounds proclaiming the appearance of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. On the occasion of Lord Krishna's birth, seasonal changes took place throughout the entire universe. Krishna was born during the month of September, yet it appeared like springtime. The atmosphere, however, was very cool, although not chilly, and the rivers and reservoirs appeared just as they would in Sarath, the fall. Lotuses and lilies blossom during the day, but although Krishna appeared at 12 o'clock midnight, the lilies and lotuses were in bloom, and thus the wind blowing at the time was full of fragrance. Because of Kamsa's disturbances, the Vedic ritualistic ceremonies had almost stopped. The Brahmanas and saintly persons could not execute the Vedic rituals with peaceful minds. But now the Brahmanas were very pleased to perform their daily ritualistic ceremonies undisturbed. The business of the Asuras is to disturb. The business of the Asuras is to disturb the Suras, the devotees and Brahmanas. But at the time of Krishna's appearance, these devotees and Brahmanas were undisturbed. Such a beautiful purport Prabhupada wrote, when Supreme Personality of Godhead is arriving, before that, the whole world and all the nature, all of them are just welcoming the Lord. Lord is coming. So very beautifully Prabhupada's purport. And he explained here that all the flowers, even the flowers which usually blossom during the day, lotuses and lilies, they are also waiting for the Lord to come, and that's why they are also blooming at 12 o'clock midnight. Such a beautiful welcoming to the Lord. So, and Brahmanas actually, because of Kamsa, because of his ordinance, the ritualistic ceremonies were stopped, and so the Brahmanas and saintly persons are also very happy. And in the Chaitanya Bhagavat, Lord Śrī Caitanya also, when appeared in Navadvip, in Chaitanya Bhagavat is described that there were a lot of scholarly people were there, but devotional service or those are almost none in Navadvip. And that time Nimai appeared in Navadvip, and that time all the demigods also was present when Nimai was born under the neem tree. So every time when Lord incarnated and the Supreme Lord when comes as avatari, that time the whole world are so happy welcoming the Lord. And this is all very nicely explained here. So every incarnation when Lord is coming, everything becomes so beautiful, the whole nature. Back to you, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Thank you very much, Prem Shankar Prabhu and Bhashi Mataji. Nice comment and explanation. Actually, we look around all the time for auspicious moment, but when Lord comes, it automatically becomes all auspicious because he's the most auspicious person or Supreme Personality of Godhead. So the whole nature, it doesn't matter is a day or night, is a summer or spring, winter, so it becomes all auspicious and very blissful. That's why we see that even Lord came in the September, but it appeared like a springtime. So even the weather changed, became auspicious. and wind was blowing so pleasantly that it is that the brahmanas who could not do like with concentration their fire sacrifice, now with the nice breeze and without undisturbed by the breeze, they can perform their sacrifices. So everywhere, even the middle of the night, the lilies and lotuses, they appear, they blossom. Though they always do in the daytime with the arisal of the sun, but with Lord's appearance in the middle of the night, the lotuses and lilies bloom. So Lord is most auspicious, and with his appearance, the whole season become auspicious. Any other comments, additions, devotees? Shruti Prabhuji?
Yeah, you explained very well, Prabhuji. So we can see that the good thing, when Lord appears, all the lilies, lotuses, even it is in midnight also, that's such a wonderful thing. Thank you, Prabhuji. Hare Kṛṣṇa.
So Laksha Prabhu, do you want to read text 6?
Yes, Prabhu. Text 6. Jagu Kinara Gandharvas Tustuvu Siddha Charana Vidya Daryascha Nanrutur Apsaro Be Samamuda. Translation: The Kinnaras and Gandharvas began to sing auspicious songs. The Siddhas and Karanas offered auspicious prayers, and the Vidyadharis, along with the Apsaras, began to dance in jubilation. Hare Kṛṣṇa, Prabhuji.
Prabhuji, do you want to add anything on this verse? What did you understand?
Like I understood, like every time, Lord Krishna incarnates into Lord Ram or Lord Krishna or Lord Baladev, the demigods always dance, sing, and offer prayers.
So we read in the Bhagavad Gita that Lord comes for giving pleasure to the devotees, for his devotees, and at the same time he annihilates the demons. So when the Lord comes, all the Shakti people, all his devotees become happy and they celebrate the appearance of the Lord. So they are singing auspicious songs, they are offering auspicious prayers, and Apsaras are also dancing. So it's a very nice, auspicious environment everywhere, all for the universe. Any comments, any additions? So we can proceed to the next verse. Any devotees are in a position to read next text? Please go ahead.
I'll read, Prabhuji. This is Susilpa. Mumukar Munayo Deva Sumanam si Mudanvita Mandam Jaladhara Jagarjur Anusangaram Nisite Tama Udbhute Jayamane Janardane Devakyam Deva Rupinyam Vishnum Sarva Guru Sarva Guhasayam. Avirasid Yatra Prachayam. Avirasid Yata Prachayam. Disindur Iva Pushkala. I hope it's okay. Translation. The demigods and great saintly persons showered flowers in a joyous mood, and clouds gathered in the sky and very mildly thundered, making sounds like those of the ocean's waves. Then the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Vishnu, who is situated in the core of everyone's heart, appeared from the heart of Devaki in the dense darkness of night, like the full moon rising in the eastern horizon, because Devaki was the same category as Sri Krishna. Purport: as stated in Brahma Samhita, Ananda Chinmaya Rasa Pratibhavitabis Tabir eva nija rupataya kalabihi goloka eva nivatsya akhilatma bhuto govindam adi purusham tamaham bhajami. This verse indicates that Krishna and his entourage are of the same spiritual potency, Ananda Chinmaya Rasa. Krishna's father, his mother, his friends, the cowherd boys, and the cows are all expansions of Krishna, as will be explained in the Brahma Vimohana Leela. When Brahma took away Krishna's associates to test the supremacy of Lord Krishna, the Lord explained himself again in the forms of the many cowherd boys and calves, all of whom, as Brahma saw, were Vishnu Murtis. Devaki is also an expansion of Krishna, and therefore this verse says, Devakyam Devarupinyam Vishnu Sarva Guhasaya. Sarva Guhasaya. At the time of Lord's appearance, the great sages and the demigods, being pleased, began to shower flowers. At the seashore, there was the sound of mild waves, and above the sea, there were clouds in the sky which began to thunder very pleasingly. When things were adjusted like this, Lord Vishnu, who is residing within the heart of every living entity, appeared in the darkness of night as the Supreme Personality of Godhead before Devaki, who appeared as one of the demigoddesses. The appearance of Lord Vishnu at that time could be compared to the rising of full moon in the sky on the eastern horizon. The objection may be raised that since Lord Krishna appeared in the 8th day of the waning moon, there could be no rising of the full moon. In answer to this, it may be said that Lord Krishna appeared in the destiny which is in the hierarchy of the moon. Therefore, although the moon was incomplete on that night, because of the Lord's appearance in the destiny, wherein the moon is himself the original person, the moon was in an overjoyous condition. So by the grace of Krishna, he could appear as a full moon. To welcome the Supreme Personality of Godhead, the waning moon became a full moon in jubilation.
Mataji, you want to share? It's a long verse. So
yeah. So I'm very grateful to read this verse and the purport. Thank you so much for giving an opportunity to me. very nice explanation of Srila Prabhupada here, that Lord resides in every human being, including his mother, who is considered as one of the demigoddesses. There is one statement where Brahma was. There was one scenario where Brahma was checking who is the greatest. I'm not sure about that, but at the end it proved that Krishna himself mentioned that he is part of every living organism, including the cows, the cowherd boys, and every living entity. That is very wonderful, and I think we have to treat the same way to one and all. That's all I understood. You can add. Please add. Thank you.
Thank you, Mataji. Very nice. Anybody in a position to complete the rest of the part?
Can I read, Prabhuji?
Sure, Prabhuji. Thank you very much.
Hare Kṛṣṇa, everyone. Pranam. Instead of Deva Rupinyam, some texts of Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam clearly says Vishnu Rupinyam. In either case, the meaning is that Devaki has the same spiritual form as the Lord. The Lord is Satchidananda Vigraha, and Devaki is Satchidananda Vigraha. Therefore, no one can find any fault in the way the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Satchidananda Vigraha, appeared from the womb of Devaki. Those who are not in full knowledge that the appearance and disappearance of the Lord are transcendental, Janma Karmecha Me Devyam, are sometimes surprised that the Supreme Personality of Godhead can take birth like an ordinary child. Actually, however, the Lord's birth is never ordinary. The Supreme Personality of Godhead is already situated within the core of everyone's heart as Antaryami, the Super Soul. Thus, because he was present in full potency in Devaki's heart, he was also able to appear outside her body. One of the 12 great personalities is Bhishma Deva. Swayambur Narada Shambhu Karmaraha Kapilo Munah Prahlada Janako Bhishma. In Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam, 1st Canto 9th chapter 42 verse, Bhishma, a great authority to be followed by the devotees, says the Supreme Personality of Godhead, is situated in the core of everyone's heart, just as the sun may be on everyone's head. Yet, although the sun may be on the heads of millions and millions of people, this doesn't mean that the sun is variously situated. Similarly, because the Supreme Personality of Godhead has inconceivable potencies, he can be within everyone's heart, and yet not to be situated variously. Ekatvam Anupashyatham, Ishanupanishad 7. The Lord is one, but he can appear in everyone's heart by his inconceivable potency. Thus, although the Lord was within the hearts of Devaki, he appeared as her child. Prabhuji, can I stop here? Actually, want to continue? I know there's big, but other devotees can also read.
Prabhuji, you're in the middle of the para. You can complete.
Okay. According to Vishnu Purana, therefore, as quoted in the Vaishnava Toshani, The Lord appeared like the sun, Anugrahasya. The Brahma Samhita 535 confirms that the Lord is situated even within the atom, Andantara Sthana Paramanu Chayantra Sthanam. He is situated in Mathura, in Vaikunta, and in the core of the heart. Therefore, one should clearly understand that he did not live like an ordinary child in the heart or the womb of Devaki, nor did he appear like an ordinary human child. Although he seemed to do so in ordinary to bewilder asuras like Kamsa. The asuras wrongly think that the Krishna took birth like an ordinary child and passed away from the world like an ordinary man. But asuric conceptions are rejected by the persons in knowledge of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Ajayo pisan avyayatma bhutanam ishwaropi san. Bhagavad Gita, 4th chapter, 6th verse. As stated in Bhagavad Gita, the Lord is Aja, unborn, and he is a supreme controller of everything. Nonetheless, he appeared as a child of Devaki. This verse describes the inconceivable potency of the Lord, who appeared like a full moon. Understanding the special significance of the appearance of the Supreme Godhead, one should never regard him as having taken birth like an ordinary child. Giving me opportunity. This is wonderful verse, Prabhu, where Krishna is coming to this material world, and what I understand, Prabhupada is explaining here that we, as a normal person, like me, who see it, is like we think that okay, Krishna born through Devaki's womb, but even but for him there is nothing. There is no one place for him. He is there everywhere. Not only Devaki's womb, but even in our hearts, he is there, and everywhere in the universe, he is filled with his presence. It's just that I couldn't see with my eye, with my material eyes. So that being said, Prabhupada is also saying here that asuras like Kamsa, who are thinking that he is a human child because he came from Devaki, he is like a normal child, and he can be destroyed or he can be killed. But only people who has the eyes to see it, like with love and devotion, can see that he is filled everywhere. And also here one Bhagavad Gita sloka also Prabhupada mentioned that ajapi san avasyat avyatma, where he is filled everywhere. He doesn't have a birth or appearance, and except appearance and disappearance, he doesn't have anything else like that. That's a few things which I understand. Prabhu, please add more. Thank you, Prabhu.
Thank you, Shishul Pramataji, Ekan Prabhuji, for a nice comment. So, Lord Krishna said in Gita, Jorma Karma Chami Dibbam Evam Jibe Beti Tattata. So, this verse again telling us Lord's transcendental appearance in this material world. So, if you understand this, that will not coming back in this material world back again. So, Lord came to the Bashul, Lord actually in us, right? In every living entity, even in the atom, everywhere Lord is there. So, Lord appeared first in the heart of the Vasudeva, his father, and then to the mother Devaki's heart and to the womb. So, this is not a material way to get birth. This is transcendental. And when Lord comes, he doesn't come alone, he comes with full entourage, with his friends, parents, and even the Chaitanya Mahāprabhu Lila, we see that all the devotees I think in Gorudash Dipika, if I'm not wrong, you can correct me, that all the characters in the Ganga Mahaprabhu Lila, and it was mentioned that who is acting what role in the Krishna Lila is clearly written in that book. So Lord always comes with the antares, and they're also spiritual. He's all the who assist him in his pastime. There also comes, and they're also like Shachit Ananda, their body. So Mother Devaki is eternal mother and eternal devotee also. So when Krishna get birth from Mother Devaki or Lord Ram from Koshala, so they're also spiritual, Shachit Ananda. So they're same spiritual world they come from. And there's another thing is that in Brahma Bhiman Lila that Mataji was reading, that when Brahma was confused about it is really Krishna or who is he? So he thought, let me do the test, and he hid all the cowherd boys with the cows for 1 full year. And Lord, understanding he's a supreme Lord, he knows everything, so he expanded himself to all the cowherd boys and animals, all the cows. And Lord Brahma was totally bewildered. What happening? They are sleeping. I put them in sleep and hiding them, and I see them. They are doing again pastimes with Lord. So Lord expand himself to his entourage, all the pastime assistants. So that also said that proves that all the entourage who comes, they are also part of the Lord's eternal existence, eternal devotees. And somebody can ask that Lord came in the Ashtami, right? Lord is born in the Janmashtami. He born in the 8th day of that Paksha, Krishna Paksha. Then how come there's a full moon? But there should be no moon, and he came in the middle of the night. But moon is a personality who is also praying to the Lord, and Lord came in the moon dynasty. So definitely moon will be overjoyous. What a nice, beautiful description by Prabhupada. So moon was in overjoyous condition. So even it is the 8th day of the Krishna's Paksha, but it was a full moon because moon himself is overjoyous. So, and as we explain that here, that like sun, like when I was a kid, I used to go by the buses and I see that not the sun, especially in the night, that moon is following me. I was surprised, how come moon follows with me all the time? But actually everybody can see that moon following everybody. So same thing, Lord, so big, he can expand himself in a supreme personality, our Paramatma, in every living entity and also in each atom. So he can come from any place, anywhere, anytime, in any form, as explained by the Prem Shakuna Prabhu, that he comes to the nose of the Brahma as a bhāgavata-sevayā and become from minute things to huge Lord, bhāgavata-sevayā. So Lord is unborn, but for pastimes he take birth, but that is not like our mundane birth of our regular jivas. So this is spiritual activities. So any addition, any corrections, please, devotees.
You beautifully explained, Prabhuji, very nicely. Here Prabhupada explaining Ananda Chinmaya Rasa Pratibhavitapi. So, Krishna expands himself as cowherd boys, cowherd, Sakhis and everything for the pleasure of, Vrindavan. So he says that, in Goloka with Radha resembling his own spiritual figure, he performs all these leelas. That's my understanding. Thank you.
Any Any other comments, additions before we wrap up for today? So then we'll again join tomorrow. We can conclude here. Amar Puran Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam ki jai. Prabhupada ki jai. Vancha kalpatarubhasya kripa sindhubhyo. Thank you, Mataji. Thank you, Prabhuji.
Thank you.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Thank you so much, Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.